After Mulan had saved China from the Hans, her life returned, for the most part, to normal. Back in her village, she still helped out her family the way she always had, and in time, some people forgot how courageous and ingenious Fa Zhao's daughter really was. Then, one day, as Mulan was fetching water for her mother, a group of frightened children came running toward her. "Help! Help!" they shouted. "Our friend Jin is trapped in a cave." "Oh no!" exclaimed Mulan. "Hurry! Take me to him! Mushu," she called to her little dragon friend, "you've got to come too." The children led Mulan to the other side of the mountain. There, she found the strongest of the village men already hard at work. "A boulder has fallen, blocking the entrance to the cave," Wang the blacksmith explained. The boy ran in only seconds before it fell. Then his face hardened into a scowl. "But what are you doing here?" he asked Mulan. "This is no place for a girl. It will take muscles of steel to move this boulder." "Yes," agreed Chung the carpenter. "Get out of our way. If you want to do something useful, go back to the village and fetch us some water." Then the men returned to their work, pulling and pushing at the boulder in vain. Mulan wasted no time. She did return to the village, but not to fetch water. Instead, she found a shovel and ran back to the cave. "That boulder is too heavy to be moved," Mulan told the men. "Let's try another way." Wang and his friends frowned and kept on pushing. "Come on," Mulan urged. "What do you have to lose?" At last, the large men shook their heads and reluctantly stepped aside. Mulan began to dig at the base of the boulder. "If you can't move an obstacle," she said, "you can always try to go around it." And slowly, but surely, she formed a tunnel beneath the rock. Once the tunnel was finished, Mulan and Mushu climbed under the boulder into the damp darkness of the cave. "How about some light?" Mulan asked the dragon. "No problem," replied Mushu, opening his mouth and belching out a flame that lit up the whole cave. And there was Jin. "Boy, am I happy to see you!" the boy exclaimed as he ran up to meet them. "We're happy to see you too," said Mulan. "But what made you come in here? Don't you know caves are dangerous?" "I know," said Jin, "but I saw something shiny and I wanted to know what it was." Mulan looked around. "You mean that?" There, in the back of the cave, lit up by Mushu's fire, was not just one shiny object, but many. The cave was full of hidden treasure. Mushu was so stunned he almost swallowed his own flames. "Think of what this fortune could mean for our village!" exclaimed Mulan as Jin climbed happily onto the shimmering mountain of gold, jewels, and precious vases. "Come on," Jin said. "Let's show the others." Then they each grabbed an armful of treasure and headed for the tunnel. As the pair emerged, followed by Mushu, the crowd let out a cheer. "Mulan did it!" they all shouted. Then they noticed the gold and jewels. "What have you found?" asked Wang. "It's a treasure," she told him, "and there's more of it inside, much more. Now I can go back to the village and fetch some water," she continued, grinning. "I'm pretty thirsty after all that digging." Wang and the other men lowered their eyes. How foolish they had been, thinking Mulan could not help them just because she was a girl. "Forgive us," said Wang. "If it weren't for you, Jin would still be trapped. You are a great hero." "Let's just get this treasure back to the village," said Mulan, blushing, "and celebrate our newfound fortune." Soon, all the treasure was collected from the cave, and a great feast was prepared, with Mulan and Mushu as the guests of honor. A great gong was rung, and the whole village turned out to show their gratitude to Mulan, not just for bringing them riches, but for saving one of their children. In the years that followed, the villagers put their new fortune to much good use. Houses were built for the poor, new schools were built for the children, roads were repaired, and enough food was stored that no one would ever go hungry again. And the tale of Mulan's heroism was written down for all to read, so that they would never forget her courage and wisdom. The end. I love you.